So you want to ride RAGBRAI? Well, don't let people tell you otherwise. It's going to be hilly, and it's going to be hot, and it's going to be windy, but you can do it. Look at me. I'm a little bit big, I'm a little bit older, and I've done it multiple times. You just have to know how to train. Come with me. I'll show you. So for my first RAGBRAI, I practiced a lot, rode 600, 1,000 miles, I'm not quite sure how much, and I was so prepared. I knew it. And I got to Iowa, and on the first day, I was dying. And I died the entire week. Why is that? Because I didn't practice properly. No, I can't really follow all these online helps. I'm a working professional, I have a busy schedule, I travel. So over the years, I've had to develop my own workout regimen, and I'm going to tell you about it. I just completed my 12th RAGBRAI and look forward to my 13th in 2026. Number one, I did all of my training out here on the bike path. Look at the canopy. There's no sun, there's no wind, there's no hills. Oh, this did not prepare me. What do you need to do to prepare? I'll tell you. So what I found in my experience is that I need to ride between 600 and 1,000 miles a year to be ready for RAGBRAI. But unlike that first year, it also is a matter of the quality of the miles and the quality of training. So I used to hate hills. I would avoid hills. I would be upset when we had hills. But then I learned if I was going to ride successfully on RAGBRAI, I had to take hills. So some of them are really, really steep. And other hills aren't. And on those hills, like this one, you get good training if you power up them. And so I'm not changing my gear, and I'm going faster pedaling to try to get up faster. What that does is it increases your cardio and leg strength. So when you get to the hills of Iowa, you're ready for those. And the smaller hills, you can just coast down and then power over, and it's a lot of fun. All right, here's another little hill that you can power up. Again, this improves your leg strength and your cardio. It's not real big, but it used to be that I would just go up really slow in a slow gear. And now I try to go up as fast as I can in the hardest gear I can to improve my leg strength and cardio. So one of the things my bike mechanic told me as I'm gonna go climb up a hill, if it's not too steep and I think I can power over it, what I do is I move my big derailleur down to the small, and I move my back derailleur from a hard gear to an easier.
No, I said that wrong. On the front sprocket, you go from the biggest one to the smallest one. And on the back sprocket, you go from an easier one to a harder one.
So I go push in like this, and it allows me to continue with the same cadence, but it makes it easier to get up that hill. And that's another way that you can go up a hill pretty fast, get good training, and not burn out your knees. Now some hills you can't go up real fast, at least I can't. You gotta go slow. But that doesn't mean you don't try, because everything helps give you leg strength. And yes, there'll be hills like this on RAGBRAI. In fact, much bigger. As you start riding early in the year, it could be kind of cool where you live. And perhaps it's going to get warm by summertime. But you really want to ride when it's really warm outside, like in the 80s and the 90s, because oftentimes that's the temperatures that you get in Iowa. And it's okay to ride over a cloud cover at times because you don't bake as much. So riding in the heat is not enough. It can be really hot, but have a good cloud cover and protect you from the sun. Sometimes you need to ride with the sun right overhead so that you feel what it's like to kind of bake in the sun. It's energy reducing. It's a clear day today, but it's towards the end of the day for me, so the sun's on the horizon, so I'm not baking. But you gotta try practicing not only in the heat, but in the sun and the heat without a cloud cover. You'll have that many days on RAGBRAI. I don't know if you can hear, but I'm riding against the wind right now. And this is one of the attributes to riding off of a bike trail, to get used to riding against the wind, because it seems like the last week of July, the wind is always coming out of the east rather than the west. We have headwinds more than tailwinds. So you want to practice against the wind. So you can't ride year round, perhaps, if you live more in the north all year round. And that's where riding on a trainer comes in.
Whether it's hot or cold, or you don't want to go outside, or you're traveling like I am here, a trainer is a perfect way to stay in shape. And it's even harder, I think, than riding outside.
So here's a reason why riding a trainer is so much more difficult, because I just climbed up a big hill and now I'm going down a hill and I can rest. I don't have to pedal. On a trainer, if you stop, your clock stops and you don't get credit for it. So you're constantly having to pedal on a trainer, whereas outside you can rest a little bit. So I think a trainer is harder. One of the things I do at stoplights is stop back a little bit so the immediate cars can go through. I find it lessens confusion and prolongs my life. Now sometimes when you're riding against the wind, it's really hard and it gives you a much better workout. But let's say you're on the flat and it's not windy and you want to practice your leg strength and cardio. Then I do interval training. Interval training is where you do, let's say, a minute on a easy gear and then a minute on a hard gear. And you go back and forth and back and forth. So you kind of cool down in that easy minute and you stretch yourself on that hard minute. And you'd be surprised how much your leg strength improves and actually how much you lose weight if you watch your diet. It's crazy. Those are good things to do on a trainer if you can't do it outside. One of the things that helps me with my bicycle training is to do it with friends or along with friends. There's an app called Strava. There's several different apps, Ride with GPS, but I like Strava. And it's kind of like a Facebook for bicyclists. You log in and you can save your route. You can see how fast, how far, how high you went in terms of climbing. And then all your friends see it and they can like it and they can make comments. So you have a virtual community supporting you on your rides, even if you're riding by yourself. And even if you are on a trainer in your basement, you still can manually add that so it counts for your overall total for the year.
For interval training, I like the Seconds Pro app on my iPhone. I can set how long I want the high and low intensity times to be and the time for my overall ride. I hit go and the app moves back and forth between the high and low intensity settings.
You'll find that there's almost an app for everything that you want to do with regard to bicycling and training. One of the things I always ride with, regardless of what time of day it is, are flashing lights in the back and in the front. It only takes one person not paying attention to rear end you. And I just am leery about textures these days. So please, when you go out on training rides, whether by yourself or with a group, have a front white light on flashing and a back red light flashing. It'll help motorists see you. So a couple things that you want to do when you're going on RAGBRAI or preparing is you want to learn the signals. So that right there is a right turn. This is stop. This is left turn. And if you're going to move over lane with riders around you, you point to where you're going. So a couple additional tips. People say, do you wear gloves? Yes, because there's padding on the hand. But I also have padding on my handlebars. I use a slightly bigger seat than most because I am heavy and I need the padding. And I wear clips on my shoes because it helps me pull up when I'm going up hills. And people ask, do you wipe out with the clips? And my response is, I only wipe out with the clips right after somebody asks me that. And I tell them, no, I never have any problem with it. So if you have clips, don't ever say you don't have any problems with them. Well, as you're getting ready for RAGBRAI, good luck with your training. I hope these tips help and hope to see you on the roads of Iowa in July 2026.